Tell us about your cars, bro.
2016 F-Type, a 3-litre V6. 2021 Toyota Hilux, a 2.8-litre.
On your bikes too?
Ducati Monster 696 ABS. 2016 Ducati Panigale 1299S. It's never been about money for me. It's been, I enjoy these things. I'm going to spend the money on what I enjoy.
Yeah. All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to episode 3 of the Episode 4, I believe. Yes, episode 4 of the King of the Jungle podcast. Today we have Jim with us. Jim from Jim.
Jim from Jim.
Jim from
Classic.
Jim.
Nice.
Classic breed. So, Jim, just as a little bit of an intro... Oh, let me get my phone. I got my notes. I always forget my phone. First, give us an introduction about yourself. What do you do for a living?
Oh, okay. My name's Jim. I'm 30. I have been working on the yachts for the last 11 years. So
11 years?
Yeah, almost straight out of high school. I basically finished high school. When I finished high school, I was reffing Western Province Rugby, ILB Level 1 games, so Division 1 and 2 club games, and some for Wynberg and Sachs, Brandebosch. And then I was working at a gym here in Hout Bay, which no longer exists, called Edge Fitness. But, you know, it's one of those things. But during that year, I matriculated in 2012. So 2013, I spent most of the year working those 2 jobs and then doing my basic courses for the yachts. And then November 6th or 7th of 2013, I went over to Florida.
So you mentioned to me the other day that you obviously spend like 2 months here, then 2 months there.
Yeah, so I'm on what's called a rotational contract. I work 2 months on and I work 2 months off. So that's something that's hugely desired in my industry because obviously we spend a lot of time away from home and family. But the thing is, it's not available on every boat. People seem to think that one company owns a lot of yachts. It's not like that. It's an individual, either family or person that owns this yacht. And they pay for the maintenance, they pay crew salaries, they pay crew medical, they pay for everything. It's like owning a car. It's yours. You have to maintain it. You pay for the servicing, etc. So that's how that works. But it took me about 8 or 9 years of working, improving and upgrading licenses, you know, from doing a, yacht master coastal to a yacht master offshore, to my officer's license, to my chief mate's license. And then next is captain, which would be my master 3000, which basically allows me to be captain on anything up to 3,000 gross tons.
Wow.
But I'll do those modules later this year. So
I see. So yeah. When do you think you might get it?
Well, I had set goals for myself. Goals for by the time I hit 30. One was to have a house, a car, and have my master 3000. So I've already achieved 2 of those things. I just need to achieve the master 3, which I'm aiming to do before the year's end. So if all goes according to plan, I should have that before the end of the year, which technically it's not by 30, but it's in my 30th year. So I can still sort of tick the box a little bit.
So where do you go when you go up for 2 months for work?
It depends. It depends on where the boat is. So when I left the boat now, they were doing a 5-year survey period in the shipyard in La Ciotat, France, which is an hour east of Marseille. So between Marseille and Nice and Antibes, sort of in the middle there. It's a very small town. It's not a lot of people know about it. The yachts go there to a shipyard called Monaco Marine, which is one of the more up-and-coming shipyards at the moment. But we were supposed to be there for 10 weeks, but due to some delays that we had, because obviously a boat being a boat, there's always issues that come up as you start to open things up. We were delayed a little bit, so my 2 months from December to the start of Feb were spent in the shipyard. When I go back now, the boat should probably be, I think, in Antibes on standby before our season kicks off in May. So May through to about August, September is generally when your med summer is going to be.
So this is in France, you said?
Yeah. So I'll go back to France, to Antibes, and then we'll probably do France cruising and probably into Italy as well.
So you go like more throughout it, sort of Europe area, and then you go.
Yeah, the hotspots are generally, you've got, the southern coast of France, which is popular. You've got Saint-Tropez, Nice, Antibes, the Cannes Islands, Îles and Marguerite, which is where you've got La Garite, which is a really popular restaurant on the Cannes Islands. I met Haaland there once, which is pretty cool. Erling Haaland. I don't know. He's a soccer player. I didn't really know who he was.
I'm not a guy who watches sports, unfortunately, except for bodybuilding every now and then. But
not even rugby. Shameful.
World Cup. That's about it. If we in the World Cup, then I'll watch us play the final. But
so you're telling me you don't support Bafana?
Not necessarily. No.
Who's Bafana?
I don't know.
Shame. It's not make sure.
No, shame.
Shame.
So, with going like 2 months here, 2 months there, in terms of when it comes to fitness, do you go to a gym that side, and what's the sort of the gym culture in comparison?
It depends. Generally, yacht crew can be quite healthy and fitness orientated, and it tends to rub off. So a lot of people will, I say that, but it's also 50-50. It just depends on people's mentality. A lot of people, when they're working as hard as we do, they tend to, at the end of the day, go, I'm done for the day, and they'd rather have a drink and relax.
I see.
But then you do get the others who go to yoga, Pilates, or they're like, I'm going to go to gym now, and they'll go do either, treadmill or elliptical or something. But again, that depends on where you are. If you're in the middle of the season and you're on board all the time, which is generally what happens to us, then unless you've got fitness facilities on board, you kind of have to work your own stuff in.
I see, yeah.
So most boats I've been on, one of the questions I ask, before I sign a contract and join a boat is there a gym on board for crew? Because to me it's important. It's my mental outlet. It's how I let go of stress.
Good stuff, bro.
Yeah. So
I'll be the same.
I've got some of my deck crew where I can see they're really stressed, and they get irritated easily, and they don't have an outlet. And I say to them, go row for 10 minutes, go row for 15 minutes, jump on the bike. Go down to the forepeak. For reference, the forepeak is like under the foredeck area of the boat, on the bow, on the front of the boat. Okay. It's like underneath, and it's one of our working deck spaces that we have a lot of storage and stuff. So on the boat I'm on in particular, I've been there, not consecutively, but I've been there for going into my 4th year with this particular boat and family. When I joined, they had basic stuff. Just a couple of Bowflex dumbbells, which are adjustables, and not really much else. So we did a refit period. I bought a 20 kg Olympic barbell. I bought 100 kgs worth of plates. I bought adjustable dumbbells, plate ones, not the Bowflex ones, because they're quite cumbersome. They're quite big and bulky. So even if you drop the weight off, the actual unit itself is quite big. So if you're trying to do chest press, you end up hitting here before you get a full contraction. So it's quite annoying.
Yeah.
But yeah, resistance bands as well. Hugely popular with me, especially on the boat.
Yeah, I can't really go wrong with resistance bands.
No, I've had extremely good results with resistance bands in confined spaces. But on my particular boat, I've built my own little gym in the forepeak region there. So
nice.
The boats actually bought all the equipment from me because I paid for it myself. And then I left the boat at one stage to go somewhere else, and I asked them, if everyone's using it, can't the boat just buy it? So they actually bought it from me for the boat, for the crew. But cardio-wise, we do have like a stationary bike, like spinning in the engine room, and then a rowing machine. So
nice.
A little bit of variety.
Epic. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it must be interesting lifting on a boat.
It does get interesting, especially if you're in the front of the boat and there's quite a lot of swell, which tends to be when you're in the anchorages.
Imagine doing chest press and be like...
I have done that, and it's extremely hard. The best way I find to do it is when you're not on the vertical line of the boat, because the boat rocks like that from side to side. Even though we have stabilizer fins on the side which try and counter that, I find that instead of sitting with the boat and you end up rocking, which then throws your weight, if you sit against it, and I put my bench to one side, even if I do rock, it just adds a little more resistance coming back up
rather than throws you off balance.
Exactly. So over time, these are all they're all little things that I figured out. So
Those of you on yachts, you're trying to get a lift in. This is some good advice right here.
I will admit the one challenging thing is I have a little pulley system that I've rigged up in there, and it's when you're trying to do like a tricep pull down and your weight comes up and it's just swinging around.
Oh yeah,
you got to try balance that, because that's challenging.
Yeah, I can imagine. Here's an interesting one. What is, if you remember it, the best fitness advice you've ever heard?
Ooh, best fitness advice that I've ever heard? Do what works for you. Nice. I promise you, everybody.
It does work though. That's so, like, I didn't think of that, but like it's.
Well, the problem is with social media and everything, everyone thinks that you have to do something a certain way. Yes, there's a technique to doing it correctly, but you need to finesse those techniques to what your body needs and how your body responds to them. So it's all well and good saying, I can shoulder press 40 kgs, but is your technique correct, and are you actually doing a full movement?
Yeah.
There's a lot of times where I go to the gym and I see young guys who are 14, 15 years old, they're not even finished growing yet, and they're trying to throw around 30 kgs on a tricep pull down, but they've got arched backs, and they're doing a very cramped pull, and you're like, you go to them and you say, listen, like, I want to help you, and I've only been lifting for 10 years. I haven't been lifting for a lot of time, so I don't have a huge amount of experience.
Well, I mean, that's 5 times more than me.
Yeah, but still, I mean, I'm not one of those guys who's going to say, I've been lifting for 10 years, you have to listen to me.
Oh, yeah.
I prefer to go to guys and say, listen, like, I can see you struggling a bit there, but if you try it this way, you might actually get better results because this is the correct technique for that.
Yeah.
And then they can't suddenly lift that weight that they were just doing. And you like, drop the weight down to this weight and try that. And you say, try do 8 on that. And then suddenly they find they can do it, but they can only do 6 to 8 reps because now suddenly their technique's right.
Yeah.
And they're like, I can feel that burns. And I'm like, well, there you go.
There you go.
So,
bingo.
And a lot of them are actually, it's amazing because you do get the ones who are, no, I'm doing it my way. Fine. That's okay. I'm just trying to help. But then you get the ones who are actually like, oh, thank you so much. It really helps.
Yeah.
And then that's when you start to build a lot of bromances, in a sense, for lack of a better word. No, I'm kidding. It's when you become friendly with people at the gym and people recognize you, and you get the, hey, how are you, fist bump, and you actually build that sort of familiarity with people and actually know that next time when you help or try and suggest something to them, they're actually going to take it on board. But again, it's dependent on what works for your body and your physique. Every single body is different out there.
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
So, I mean, for me to get down to a low body fat percentage, I have to diet intensely for 6 weeks, like restricted, like 1,400 calories a day.
Sure, cheapers.
But that's for me. And I've done it before. I did I think it was 2018, 2019, where I did that. And I had extremely good results. After 6 weeks, I think I went from 14%, 15% down to 9.2 or 9.4%.
Sure.
And that's drinking 4 or 5 liters of water a day.
Oh, yeah.
With the 2 liter jugs that we have, eating properly, regularly through the day as well. And you just munch on your leaves while everyone's eating burgers next to you, and that's hard. But at the end of the day, you kind of go, oh, well, I kind of like the results I'm seeing. So you keep doing it and you keep doing it. And I did it naturally. I didn't use any PDs or, anything like that. I did it purely on diets and purely on my training regime. And I had really, really good results with it.
So sticking to a low calorie diet, do you eat less, or do you eat more, or do you eat like the same amount, but you just replace it with a lot of really low calorie stuff?
Yeah, it's pretty much replacing it with really low calorie stuff. So, for example, instead of having a massive lunch, for example, I think it was a Wednesday. I remember it because it was the worst day. But I would have I think it was like a protein oats in the morning for breakfast. And then at like 10 o'clock, I would have a small snack, whether it was like 2 nectarines or something. That's not 50 calories or something, just to fill the void and to keep the metabolism going. And then lunch, I remember one of my worst ones was, I can't remember how much baby spinach it was, but it was a Tupperware of baby spinach and 1 single lemon. And this diet in particular, and people might laugh at that, but this diet in particular I actually got from a friend of mine who's in the SA bodybuilding team.
Oh, wow.
And so he was putting together his own online course for training and diet and stuff.
What's his name?
Dylan Ruger. So, but he did quite well for himself, and he basically put it out there that he was looking for people to try these or try his method. And I was like, oh, you know what, stuff it, I'll do it. Because I could. We were in the shipyard at the time in Savannah, Georgia. I was able to drive to the gym, which was Planet Fitness. It had plenty of equipment. I never struggled for equipment there, but it was tough, but it's more the mental challenge than anything. So yeah.
And Planet Fitness. Planet Fitness. There's a lot of weird stigma around Planet Fitness. Is it true about all the sort of the weird, like, what is it called? The hunk alarms?
Lunk
alarms.
It's a lunk alarm.
Lunk alarm.
Yeah, so basically they have, the one that I used to go to, they had their whole weight section set up, and they had really nice mirrors with really nice down lighting, just above where all of your benches and stuff would be. So you had really good lighting for if you wanted to practice aesthetic poses and stuff, which was quite nice. But you could even see, like, as you were progressing and gaining lean muscle and stuff, you could see it quite nicely in the mirror with the lighting.
That's cool.
But up in the corner, they had the logo painted, and in the center of it was this big purple, I think it was purple or red. I think it was purple because their colors are purple, black, and yellow, I think. And they had this big purple revolving light. And basically, if you drop the weight to the point that, I don't know if it was weight activated, like motion, like if you dropped something and it sends a shockwave, and it's shockwave censored, or if it's somebody at the front desk hitting a button and going, get out.
I can just imagine some Karen at the back of some one-way window, just like checking out, and everyone's pop.
Yeah, it's hard, but there is that. I never saw it go off while I was there, but it's not necessarily weird like stigmas or anything. It's more the fact that they appreciate that people are there to self-improve and get better and look after their health and stuff. So they don't take judgment of others lightly. They'll kick people out of the gym for that and revoke their memberships. If you standing there and giving people shit, or excuse my language, but if you're giving people grief about stuff, or you're just being an a-hole, they don't tolerate that. They'll basically say, thanks for coming, off you go.
I see. Oh, that's cool.
So it's one of those things. But actually, from my time that I spent there, the 8 months that I spent there, they respect people's privacy and the fact that they're there to work on themselves, which is it's quite nice.
Yeah, I see. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, I drove past the Planet Fitness once in Joburg, but I was like, I was thinking about going because I was up to see my grandparents. I was thinking about going to a gym while I was there, and I was like, yeah, it's fine. It's just like 1 or 2 days. Drove past the Planet Fitness, but with the amount of stigma around it, I was like,
yeah. Look at the end of the day, people can have all the opinions about things that they want, but until they actually experience something,
yeah, that's true.
You can't really validate the opinions of other people. That's like somebody giving you an opinion on a chair that it was really hard. Yeah, you can take their word for it, or you can go see it for yourself. Go sit on it for an hour and be like, yeah, okay, you were right.
Is the chair hard? Is that?
It's a little bit crunchy, but you know.
No, it is a bit crunchy.
No, it's fine.
I'll upgrade the setup one day when I'm earning from this proper, and then
No, that's fine.
I can invest into this a bit more. But until we earn, it's just gonna.
No, but like, Planet Fitness, bro, they got a lot to offer. I mean, they had sunbeds, they had massage chairs, like all free to use, part of your membership. My membership was costing me, I think it was $20 a month. Because this was in the States. This is not in South Africa. So $20 a month versus what do we pay here at Velocity?
Just like $600.
$650 a month, which is probably $35, $40.
Yeah.
So we're paying almost double here in South Africa for literally less than half of what they offered.
Well, first of all, they have a lot more customers.
They do, yes. Granted, Hut Bay is quite a niche area. It's quite small. I do appreciate that. Granted, even if you take into account places like Virgin, the stuff that they have still doesn't compare to what they have in the US. Things are just that much more available and plentiful in supply and cheaper.
Yeah. Equipment here is pretty expensive, my bro. Also, did you see that? I don't suppose you watch Jesse James West, do you?
No.
You know of him?
No.
You don't? Okay, no. Well, he's like he's sort of, I want to say the Mr. Beast of bodybuilding. Like he's the bodybuilder YouTuber kind of thing. And he does like a lot of challenges and all of that kind of, those kind of videos. He's
Actually, I might have seen him. Is he the one who does like the dumbbell, like pick up this dumbbell and win like 300 pounds or something? Or is that a different guy?
He could have made a video. I think someone else made a video. Like quite a few people made that kind of video though. So, but yeah, he made a video of opening up a fake Planet Fitness, Neo Planet Fitness, called like Planet Bodybuilding, and he made it like blue and yellow.
I'm gonna go find that. I want to watch that. That's
no,
hilarious.
it was just like, it was fake. Really, it was just for one day.
Oh,
like he opened it as like a meme kind of thing,
Okay,
Planet
fair
Bodybuilding, and then he had his fans come up and try out the gym, and then she rented out a little room to put the stuff in, and then or like an old CrossFit gym or something that he rented for the day or something. But anyway.
I wonder if we did that here, how well we would do. Oh, come try out our free gym for the day. See how many people we can snake from the gym.
Oh, that's hilarious, dude. So I messaged you the other day and asked you what you wanted talking about. You said you wanted to talk about body dysmorphia. Eh?
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Body dysmorphia. It's one of those weird things, you know. And I go back to what I said earlier about seeing 14-year-olds in the gym. You know, when at that age, when I think back to when I was 14, I was playing rugby, cricket, water polo, you know, a whole bunch of sports. And then you're trying to throw in bodybuilding as well at 14, which can stunt your growth because
Definitely.
You shouldn't actually work out before the age of 16. Because your muscles haven't fully developed.
We shouldn't lift weights.
Well, you shouldn't lift weights. Yeah. Doing sports and stuff, that's a necessity, in my opinion. You know, like for me, had I not played rugby, I probably wouldn't have the stocky build I have today. Because, you know, I think that's factored into, you know, I am not the tallest guy. I'm only 1.72 centimeters, you know, which is an average height for a guy. But I'm on the stockier side of things, and I think that stems initially from my rugby days. So even if I do lean out, I still have broad shoulders, which, you know, could also be from when I was swimming. So sports play, I think, a huge role in how one's body develops over time. But at the same time, I feel like if you go into the gym just to lean out and stuff at that age, fine, you know, that's okay. But when you see the guys trying to push, you know, 100 kgs on a bench press, and they clearly don't have the mass or strength to do that, and their muscles and tendons and everything don't have the strength to do it, that's kind of where I go, you know, when I was 14, the gym wasn't really such a big thing. it was for first team rugby players or A-team rugby players who were working their way towards first team rugby. You know, the coaches would have them in the gym, deadlift, squats, bench press, all the necessities to help make sure that they were at the top of their game. But that's different because you're playing at A level versus B's or C's, where it's not really going to help you that much. Maybe to improve to get to A team, but you get my drift.
Yeah.
But point being, I think a lot of people develop body dysmorphia because of the fake sort of aesthetic that's put out by social media.
Yeah.
You know, there's kids who, you know, they watch YouTube or TikTok and they see a lot of influencers like the Trend Twins, for example, and they go, oh, I want to look like that. What they don't realize is to get to that, you know, they've cut a lot of corners, taken a lot of PEDs, steroids, etc. And once they stop taking those things, the damage that those things have done to their bodies is irreversible.
That's
so
true.
People aren't educated in the use of these things, and they don't understand the fact that you actually have to cycle them, and if you try and get off them, you actually have to sort of wean yourself off. You can't just drop off.
Yeah, exactly.
Because that can have catastrophic results.
Yeah.
So, you know, in my opinion, there's a lot of body dysmorphia in the sense that because social media has taken off on such a huge scale all over the world over the last, I would say, 15 years. And I would say even more so over the last, since when did TikTok come out? 2018 or something? I don't know. But if you think about Instagram and TikTok as main user sites and how much there's fitness influencing all across those platforms and people posting reels and so on and so forth, that's all great, but nobody sees the behind the scenes stuff. No one sees them shooting up with, you know, anabolics or testosterone. Now, what people don't realize also at the age of 14 or 15, even up to 18, they finish high school and they go, oh, I want to go be a bodybuilder. I'm not saying you, just FYI. You're clearly making this, like, you're passionate about it. There's a difference. And you're also not on steroids.
Yeah.
Are you?
No, I'm not.
Okay,
don't
just
worry.
checking.
Don't worry.
But that's the difference, is you're doing things naturally. You're going more for the golden era Arnold versus Trend Twins or Sam Sulek.
Yeah. Arnold still took quite a lot of juice, though. Arnold still is on quite a bit of juice, though.
Yeah, I know, but that was before it was actually studied. You know, they were kind of using it and
testing it.
You know, back in Arnold's era, no one frowned upon steroids. No one really knew the damage that it could do to your body. You know, and even today, you look at Arnold, and he's actually not in bad shape for his age. He's quite old, granted, but he looks after himself still.
Yeah, he still lifts weights.
Yeah.
Like
Problem is, you get to the abuse and usage like Ronnie Coleman, guys squatting 800 pounds. You know, I mean, the guy can't walk now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that was more of a, I would say more of the weight problem, like where he prioritized just trying to lift as heavyweight as possible.
Yeah.
And his form, like he would lust form for the sake of lifting as heavy as possible, which obviously worked for building the mass he built. I mean, obviously, because no one else was as big as he was, and
granted,
no one else did what he did. So
he is a genetic freak.
He is a
his
genetic
genetics
freak, yeah.
are. It's like Larry Wheels, for example. That guy, for his size, he is insanely strong. But again, steroids.
Yeah, definitely.
So, you know.
Yeah, I just think people give a lot of, like, too much credit to steroids. Like they'll see someone big and then they'll be like, they'll transition from, oh, this guy lifts weight to, oh, this guy takes steroids. Like they don't think that, okay, this takes steroids, which increases the muscle he builds from lifting. It's kind of just like, oh, steroids gave him that.
Yeah, no, I do appreciate that. There is also the misconception. I mean, people look at guys who, I mean, I know a few guys who are insanely lean and they have good muscle mass, like insanely good physiques, completely natural, because they do things the correct way and they've never relied on additives really to help enhance things. But again, with that being said, it still takes an insane amount of work, conditioning, and mental effort to maintain those things. And it'll come down to consistency. If you're consistent day in and day out with your diet and your routine, you'll see results.
Yeah, 100%.
You know, then if you add in your additives, your PEDs, and your steroid cycles or your testosterone, you're just amplifying the work that you've put in.
Yeah.
That's all you're doing. But on that, you're also negatively affecting your body further down the line. You know, like doing testosterone, if you're like 20 years old and you're doing testosterone for mass, fantastic. But when you hit your natural peak, it's not going to be your peak, because your peak will have been when you took your testosterone. And once you wean yourself off testosterone, unless you do it the rest of your life, you're going to severely affect your testosterone levels.
Yeah.
And there's been a lot of studies and a lot of bodybuilders who came off testosterone and they've never been able to get their testosterone levels back. And they have the testosterone level of like a 50-year-old man.
Yeah, but I mean, also for people who are thinking that just like, oh, just stay on. Like, people like Oaks get like heart attacks like out of nowhere.
Yep.
Like, I know Noel Dazel mentioned that once. He said he got, I don't know if he said it was a heart attack, but something wrong with his heart. Like, like all of a sudden, that's what PEDs can give you. Like, also seeing interviews from other massive dudes who take like 1,400 milligrams a week. 1,400 milligrams a week. And the guy said, just the one day I just had a heart attack, like out of nowhere.
Yeah.
Like it just...
Yeah. I mean, it affects everything.
Yeah.
And I'm no professional. I will openly say that. I'm not a professional. I've done my own little bit of research. So things that I say are things I've read and researched and watched videos on and stuff. But again, it's my own opinion. So people can take that with a pinch of salt and they can do with it what they want.
Yeah, same.
But being as it may, the amount of damage it does to your kidneys, your liver, you know, just your internal organs, and the risk of organ failure is so high, you know, and you're doing it all for what? Vanity?
Yeah, literally.
Like, at the end of the day, it might take longer for me to do it naturally with a strict diet and, shit, I really want chocolate, but I can't. Let me go eat salad instead. And, you know, you sacrifice things, but, I mean, in the grand scheme of things, what's 6 weeks?
Yeah.
You know, what's 8 weeks? Even if you do it over 12 weeks, which is 3 months, it's really not that bad. Imagine you do that through winter, and I know everyone's probably going, oh, no, winter's for, you know, cuddles and chilling and, you know, but winter's probably the best time to maintain, because not a lot of people go to gym during the winter, which means that you stand a better chance of getting all the machines that you want and being able to get through your workouts a lot quicker and, you know, without having to wait around and how many sets do you have left and bothering
100%
people.
did.
And I hate doing that to people.
Me too.
But, you know, for us, where we go to a gym that's relatively small compared to Virgin Active, and you get guys who sit there on their phones, you have to say, sorry, bud, you know, sorry to bother you, how many sets do you have left? And I hate doing it, but you have to.
Yeah.
But again, in winter, everyone wants to relax and play video games, and cool, that's no problem. I do that.
Yeah.
But I do it in the evenings. But I watch what I eat, and then I go to gym, and, you know, so it just depends. But body dysmorphia, in my opinion, it's a severe thing, especially, you know, I think more so for the ladies than anything, because I think they see how some other women look and they aspire to be that. But I think sometimes with the body dysmorphia, they don't eat correctly to look after their physique. I think it's eat less, lose more sort of mentality.
Yeah.
And again, I could be wrong, but, you know, when I first started out lifting and stuff, and even now, if I think about it, actually, there's a lot of times where I'll be out with friends. Oh, what do you want to eat? No, I'm not hungry. You know, and you're like, really? When last did you eat? Oh, last night. I'm like really? You can't. Like you're forcing your body into a state of shock to attack fat. Yeah,
there's a lot of stories of a lot of like fitness influencers, like girls, before they like started probably getting nutrition down the hatch, they said they were like severely like depressed because they were like not eating anything.
Yeah.
Because they just like, they decided, okay, if I don't eat anything, then I'm going to lose everything. So let me just not eat anything. And I feel like, and another thing is a lot of girls like really just want to get skinny, whether a lot of us guys want to get more like jacked.
Yeah.
And skinny's like not good, but a lot of girls think it is. So they start healthy, to just, that's what they want to achieve. I don't want to be too bulky and I don't want to be fat, so I'm just going to lose absolutely everything. I'm just going to have bones and skin, you know?
Yeah, look,
So
I mean, my personal preference, if it's bones and skin, I'm not interested. Because to me, that it's not healthy, but it affects everything. It would affect your relationship down to its core if you're dating somebody like that. Because if you think about it, you then, like for me, for example, I like treating people. I like taking people out and taking them to dinner, and I'm kind of old school in that sense. Yes, I'm old. Shut up. But that's also how I was raised. Not hating.
Yeah.
But again, it makes things awkward. You try and take somebody to a nice restaurant.
It's like, no, I don't want to eat because I want to stay skinny.
And they're just like, oh, I'll just have a salad. And it's like, okay, that's fine. But I didn't bring you to a nice restaurant so that you could have a salad. I brought you so you could have a steak or, like something nice.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of enjoying food. But again, this is where the body dysmorphia comes in, because you can still attain a great physique, but eating properly. So even if you eat smaller portions through a day and you're substituting bad fats with good fats, you still might end up with the same physique because you maintaining and your metabolism is increasing. And that's what a lot of people don't realize, is if you can get your metabolism to speed up because you're consistently eating and you're eating healthy, then you're going to end up lean. But if you're also going to gym, you're not pushing heavy weight, you're going to end up lean and toned. You're going to have the muscle to support that. But if you're just skinny because you've actually deprived your body of the nutrients, to me that's unhealthy.
Yeah.
I don't agree with that.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had this problem because I'm one of those guys who's just, I mean, my dad's a stick. He's just kind of walking stilts, you know what I'm saying? He's really skinny.
Is that where you get your height from?
And that's, I guess, where I get my height from. Luckily, I got some genes from my mother's side of the family where I can build a bit more muscle. So I wasn't born like really skinny. What?
From your mom's side, you said?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, well, my uncle's has a decent build, naturally.
Oh, okay. So you're saying genetically through your family?
Genetically, yeah.
Okay, I thought you were insinuating something else. I was like,
no.
Shots fired.
So, you're making me lose my train of thought, Brie. So I was saying, because my metabolism is like ridiculously fast. Like I can with the routine I do, which is like the only exercise I really do is go to gym for like 2 hours. And like I'll exercise for 2 hours, like 1.5 to 2 hours weightlifting, and then like burning 100 calories on the treadmill. Like just that, and the rest of the day I'm like sitting down doing work. I'm walking to get meals, but that's like pretty much.
You're forgetting to factor in one crucial element.
What?
Your age.
Yeah, that too.
You're what, 19, 20?
18.
Or 18. There you go. So your metabolism is like right at its peak.
It is.
And it'll stay there for a few years before it slowly starts to go down. Me, when I was 24, which was when I did that diet and everything, and I got super lean, I was hungry all the time. My metabolism was non-stop. Now, it's super slow. For me to kickstart it into a fat burning cycle where it's constantly chowing, I have to eat like 6-7 times a day just to get it. And at the moment, most of the day I'm hungry. So, in a sense, I feel like I've achieved that because I've adjusted my diet accordingly. But it's a lot harder when you get to like 28, 29, 30, because I don't feel that my metabolism was the same as when I was 24.
Yeah, but I mean, like if I eat anything less than 4,400 calories a day, I lose weight.
See, that's mad. That's like a bulking diet.
Literally.
If I eat that much, and I have Greek genes, if I eat that much, I just turn into a blob.
like I'm eating. I try. Like it's hard because I mean, first of all, I eat 7 meals a day,
Yeah.
and I eat like 220 plus grams of protein a day. But like, I try to get at least 4,500 calories in.
Of which you're burning how many in your workouts? Do you know?
I don't actually know because I've never tracked it.
Okay.
But
see, my Apple Watch kind of tracks mine. I don't know how accurate it is. So plus minus 100 here or there. You know, I normally average about 500 to 600 calories a workout, but that depends on how long it is, and that's not including my cardio session. My cardio sessions normally, because it's not super intense, it's more just to warm up and everything. I still do about 200 calories before and after, so that's 400 plus minus, and then the workout itself. So on a good day, I'm averaging 900 calories just on activity alone, and that's not when I'm at work. It's very physical. I'm swimming, I'm doing water sports with the kids, I'm active and running around. So I think it was yesterday or the day before I checked, and my Apple Watch said I'd done about 3,200 calories for the day, and I'm not taking in that much. So, it explains why over the last few weeks I've lost a bit of weight, which is fine. But, when I'm at work and I'm doing that, I can burn some real calories.
yeah. I mean, yesterday I had like 4,300 calories, I believe. And when I weighed myself this morning, I'd lost like 800 grams body weight.
Possible.
Like, I go like 200 calories. I go like 4,200 calories, and I'll lose a kg.
Yeah,
in a day.
You probably lose even more if you did like a morning bathroom routine.
Morning bathroom routine.
Yeah, like if you go take a whiz like first thing in the morning. Because obviously, as you
when I weigh myself, first thing when I wake up. I'll go straight to the toilet first thing to make sure my stomach's empty, and then I'll hop on the scale, so it's always accurate.
What's your current weight?
87.6 was this morning's weight.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
For your height as well, it's pretty solid.
Yeah. I when I took there was this little little quiz estimator thing that basically calculates your
body mass index.
Yeah, body mass index, but it was calculating whether you were like on the scale of overweight.
Oh, yeah, but
and I was like, the scale was like this, right? This was all like green, and then there was like a little bit of underweight, red, and then there was like the little bit of yellow, little bit of red, and I was literally just before the yellow of overweight.
Yeah, there's been, I know over the last few years, especially like when I was doing my diet and everything, I remember I checked my BMI and it told me that I was overweight.
Yeah.
Because I'm short.
Yeah.
Well, shortish. But
muscle weighs a lot.
Exactly. So like even now I weigh about 91 kgs. So when I got home 6 weeks ago or 5 weeks ago, I was 97, which is the heaviest I've ever been.
Oh.
So, it's tough as well, because for me to get down to the weight of what I was in 2018 and 19, I need to drop to like 84, 85 kgs. So to get down there, I've got to drop another 6 kgs. But at what cost? Do you sacrifice? Well, obviously you'd sacrifice body fat, but then you got to sacrifice all the muscle that goes with that.
Yeah.
To lean out completely, And 84, it's quite light, in my opinion, for a 30-year-old at least.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah. I mean, also just like even for someone who's say 25 and has the same build as me, will be much heavier, just like, I don't know, just because of like age, I guess, like the bone mass or whatever.
Well, there's that, but there's also your muscle maturity.
Yeah, that too.
Like I can get injured and not go to gym for a month, and I'll feel like, I've lost a lot of definition and stuff. But I'll go back to gym, and within a week I'll see, okay, it's coming back, because there's muscle memory, and that, to me, from what I've seen with my own body, that is a thing,
Yeah.
because it's just a habitual thing.
Yeah.
But I think with time you will gradually grow. But I remember in 2010 I had really strong big legs from rugby. And I remember I tore the ligament in my right knee, and I had to reconstruct it using a piece of my hamstring. So even when I sit now, I've got a little divot in my hamstring from where they've taken one of the tendons and used that as a new ligament for my knee.
Word.
But even so, I remember waking up after the surgery, and they'd basically pulled all the muscle down and stretched it over the knee to help stabilize it. And when I was quite upset, actually, because I'd put so much effort into being fit and active, and I was at a really good fitness level. And my left leg was huge compared to the right. The right had diminished to like a third of what it was because they had stretched the muscle and pulled it down. And I was so upset.
So they like stretched your quad, like?
Yeah, so basically they'd grabbed the muscle and pulled it down.
What, to go like over your?
I don't quite understand how it works or what they did, but as far as, because I asked the doctor, I was like, what did you do to my leg? Like, it was like this and now it's like this. And he was like, oh yeah, we like stretch the muscle. And basically they pull it and they somehow secure it so that it helps stabilize your leg so that it doesn't just flop around. Because basically they attached a new ligament through keyhole surgery. So I didn't quite understand how they did it. I was only 16 at the time, but at the end of the day, you know, it looked like my leg had just atrophied, and
That's so weird. Like they just like trimmed a bit of tendon and then just.
Yeah, but it's the same. It's the same. I know a guy who he broke his clavicle, which is basically this collarbone section here, and basically what ends up happening is there's 3 ligaments that connect your shoulder to that, and if you tear those ligaments, it'll just pop up because there's nothing there to hold it. I think it's 3 ligaments. I could be wrong. Don't quote me. I'm not a physio or anything. But just saying. But anyways, he has this lump that sticks up, and so basically what they ended up having to do was he had to have surgery to repair it because obviously the ligaments are gone. They've torn, and they basically took a tendon or something out of his forearm. And then they used that to basically wrap up and reattach the clavicle to his shoulder.
Yeah, I hope I don't tear anything because they're probably going to take a tendon out of here and I'm not going to be able.
Yeah, you'll look like Larry Wheels.
Oh, goodness me. Yeah, the little bicep peak there.
Double peak, bro.
Double peak.
Yeah, man, give us a flex. Double peak. Twin peaks,
that's why he can curl twice the amount that most of us can, because he has 2 biceps on one arm.
Exactly, true. But yeah, I mean, it's one of those things. But anyways, I feel like we kind of went off topic there.
Yeah. So back to what you said about earlier when you mentioned that you shouldn't lift before you're like
16.
Do you think like kids should be allowed in the gym, like 13-year-olds?
I think there should be a limit. I know I think it was Planet Fitness where if you were under that certain age, you weren't really allowed in the gym unless you were with an adult because for obvious reasons. And in the States where everybody sues everybody, they have to do that. But again, it's more for health reasons because you can really stunt your growth if you trying to push heavy weight before your muscles are fully matured.
Yeah.
So I don't necessarily think you can restrict people from going to the gym. There's plenty of young kids, boys and girls who go to the gym that we see on the daily. A lot of them jump on the treadmill. They're doing light weights just to keep everything fit and active and moving. And that's fine. I've got no problem with that. Absolutely. One day when I have my own kids, they'll come to gym with me. But I won't let them push heavy. They can do lightweight stuff until they hit 17, 18, and then they can make their own decisions with whether they want to continue with gym or they want to pursue the cardio side of gym, so on and so forth. There's different levels of fitness as well. It varies. I went to school with one girl who's like the South African champion for cycling.
Wow.
Like I mean, if you meet her in person, she doesn't look like it. but she's insanely fit.
Yeah.
Like her cardiovascular system must be like next level, will kill everybody because she just keeps winning championships.
Yeah.
So she's incredible, but you know, I've only seen her once, I think, since we went to school together, but I follow her on social media. So I've still managed to see what she's been up to and follow her fitness journey. But, you know, there's different levels of fitness. It just depends what you enjoy, really, you know. But no, I don't. I think anything under 10, kids shouldn't be allowed in the gyms.
Yeah.
Because that's just a hazard. Because they can really hurt themselves. A, they don't know what they're doing. B, they don't have the mental capacity to understand the movements, or the fact that they don't have the foresight to be like, oh, if I put my hand there and I let go here, I'm going to crush my fingers.
Yeah.
You know, things like that, which might be a common sense thing,
Yeah.
but when you're a kid...
And even social etiquette, like if those kids end up going to the gym, they're not going to contribute very well to the community.
No. The amount of times, even now, like, you know, it's going into school holidays. But I think it was last week or the week before. I think it was you, actually, that I was saying that I called a group of kids back.
I thought you said it was me. I was like, I'm not that young.
No, this was a young group, and I remember I watched them, and they'd split. There was a group of them on the bench press, and there was a group of them on one of the benches doing free weights, and they were like alternating between. And I carried on doing what I was doing, and then I turned around and I saw they had left, but one of the last guys was just on the stairs going down from the weight section. So I was like, hey, sorry, bud. Yeah. I said, sorry, are you guys finished? And he goes, yeah. I said, okay, cool. Can you guys come back and wipe down your benches, please? And you could see on his face, he's just like, oh, you know, this guy, you know. I'm like, you know, at the end of the day, you're at that age where... A, you're nose blind to your own smell because you're hitting puberty, and it's not pleasant.
Yeah.
Let me just say for everybody out there, please, 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 deodorant and personal hygiene is a must. If you're going to go into the gym and you guys are going to work out, kudos to you. Fantastic. But please, guys, take into account that you're sharing a public space with everybody else who's paid the same money to be there, and everyone else is paying attention to hygiene and stuff. Everybody should be paying attention to that, because nobody wants to smell a burning onion.
Yep. There's
Armpit
always
smell is one of the worst smells in the world. If you let rip and you drop a fart when you're deadlifting, I can deal with that.
because it'll go away. But
That'll go away. That's an oopsie. But when you just permeate smell,
permeate.
and
Just
it
permeate smell.
well, it permeates more for when it like just gets into your clothes and into everything. I feel like when I say permeate, it just invades every fiber of your nose. And it burns. It burns. Please, guys. Just, anyways, point being, hygiene is a big thing at the gym. Today I was at the gym. I literally saw a guy, he'd used the bench for shoulder press. And I waited till he was done. And I was doing bench press, I think. I hadn't paid attention to when he left. But I noticed he'd gone. And when I looked at the bench that he'd been using, I could literally see white sweat beads running down from where the back of his head had been. And I was just like, now I have to wipe down this dude's sweat, which, you know, the kids don't understand it. And that's why I'm very nice to them. And I'll be like, guys, if they're repeat customers who do it, I'll be firm with people. I don't own the gym. I don't work there. But I've got no qualms in saying, like Joey Swole. Joey Swole's got zero qualms about calling people out on poor gym etiquette, recording other people in the gym and making fun of them, etc. I got no qualms about it either. Hey, you use that. Please clean it. Please don't leave your weights on the floor. You know, it's just poor etiquette.
Yeah.
So, to me, it's one of those things where if you're going to go to gym, fine. But there are unspoken rules you need to follow.
Yeah. It's like a public space. It's not your space.
Exactly. Even though the gym itself is private, it's public.
Yeah.
You know, and if you want to set up a tripod and record your sessions, fine. But don't be mad when somebody walks through your shot.
Yeah.
You know, because at the end of the day, our generations might be like, oh, damn, he's got a camera set up. I'll walk around. But older generations might turn around and go, I don't give a damn. I'm going to walk.
Well, they just don't sort of...
Well, they don't even see it.
Yeah, they don't even see
because a lot of the times we put it where the lighting is best for your physique, and it shows off a nice aesthetic while you're working out. But you know, it's one of those things as well. You can't be mad at people for things like that. But when it comes to like hygiene and stuff and wiping down your benches and returning your weights, quite often I say to people, like, the gym staff are not actually here to pick up your weights and pack them away for you.
Yeah.
You need to do that. So I know the kids often get upset with me because I call them out. But if you don't call them out, who's going to?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, dude. I mean, last thing you want to be is a stinky guy in the gym, hey? Yeah. There's this one guy, bro, that's... Oh, he's... When you're in like literally a 2 meter radius of him.
I know.
Like, and you just kind of like walk around him.
Which one is that one?
The big guy with the red tank.
The big guy with the red tank.
Red, like, string... stringer.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, I know.
Oof, bro, you're in literally like a 2 meter radius.
You're in the firing zone, bro. Because as soon as those arms go up,
oof,
knockout zone.
It's like there's guns out of this thing.
Yeah, it's we should actually call him Shrek. No, that's rude. I take that back. No, but yeah, look, I mean, you know, I remember one time I took my cousin to the gym, and he's your age, super into working out, super into fitness, you know.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. You know, when he was younger, he was a little bit pudgy, and he's put in the work, and he's tall, and he's lean now, and he's in really good shape, and I'm really stoked for him. But we went to gym one time, and I was working out with him, and I was like, oof. And I was like, bro, like after we'd finished working out and we were alone, I said, bro, like, when you go to gym, you either need to shower before or, you know, put some deodorant on. I was like, you might not realize it, but it, you know, you're at that age now where if you don't use deodorant, BO is quite a pungent thing. And he didn't know, because you often are nose blind to your own smells. So, like, for me, I'm just a very hygienic person. I pay very close attention to, even if I smell a bit funky, but I'll go home. Like, sitting here, if like I was like, oh, that doesn't smell good, give me 5 minutes, please, and I'll go home and come back. Because I don't, you know, I'm a little bit OCD about it.
Yeah, I'm very self-conscious about it.
Yes, that's
like I'll be very much, I'll very much think like, I'll like, sometimes I won't even smell bad, like to other people, but I'll be like, damn, I smell bad.
Yeah. But like, I mean, it's natural when you're working
like
out.
It's such a, like, it's annoying though, because I'll be starting to lift and I'll be like, I feel really uncomfortable because I feel like I smell bad. Yeah,
but then at the same time, you're getting into your own head. So like for me, like, there's people that I do trust where I'll go to them and I'll be like, bro, do I smell a little bit? And they'll be like, no. And I'm like, okay, I'm in my head. Because you might get, like, you might be squatting down and you might be just, you know, when you're hot and sweaty, you get the occasional like heat wave that, you know, might come up from your groin or something. But that's just, it's a heat zone.
Yeah.
It's the same like for example, if you fall in the ocean and it's hypothermic levels, they tell you in sea survival training to keep your arms and your legs closed and like kind of hunched up, because you lose a lot of body heat from your head and your armpits and your groin. Like, you lose a lot of body heat. And it's the same thing where, you know, you kind of go, oh, you know, armpits, groin, you know. But if you trust somebody, you can always go like, hey, bro, do I smell funky? You know, there's nothing wrong with that. You, if anything, you're actually being courteous towards everyone else around you versus yourself.
100%.
Which I don't see anything wrong with that.
Yeah.
But don't get into your own head about it, because you might just be like, oh, I'm going to go home now.
Yeah. I mean, I don't go, I'll never like leave my workout because of it. Because
he's one of those.
Yeah.
So if I'm he's just stinky, gonna be, he's not leaving.
No, the thing is, I'll never be like really stinky though.
Are you sure about that? Because like
I always.
So you telling me that you've never been so stinky?
No, I have.
So do you even work out, bro?
I have. Goodness me, bro.
I think somewhere something is not make sure with this one.
The thing is, I sweat a lot more than I smell, so I have the perception that I smell way worse than I actually do, because I feel
that's true.
Like I sweat. So I mean, even right now, I feel like my forehead's almost dripping with sweat.
Nah, you're a little shiny, but you're not that
A
bad.
little shiny.
A little shiny, right?
But yeah,
No, but it's the same like me at the gym. Like I wear that long sleeve that I bring.
I don't know how you do that. Yeah,
Honestly, I just feel super comfortable in it.
really.
It's slightly oversized. It's super breathable, and I don't have to worry about people judging me for what I'm wearing or anything. And not that I care, because I don't.
Yeah.
But I feel comfortable in it. And there's times where, like, if I'm working on arms or something, and you want to see it in the mirror, yeah, I'll take it off. Or if I'm getting really hot, then yeah, I'll take it off. But for the most part, I just feel comfortable because it's oversized and I don't have to worry about it. It's just there.
Yeah, I mean, I recently got. I mean, you saw I recently got that younger leg compression shirt, but it's so bloody hot here. Like I've worn it like 3 times,
If you wore
and I've
it,
had it for
if
like
you wore it
2
today,
months.
you would suffer.
Yeah, dude.
What's the temperature today?
Bro, I don't know. It's like, let me check. 29 degrees. My phone says 29 degrees Celsius, ladies and gentlemen. It is the temperature of Hout Bay.
And there is
today.
a window open over there.
Yep, 2 windows open.
Where's the second one? Over there.
Brother.
Oh yeah, he's right. And they're big. They're big windows.
Yeah, they're
as
big
well, but
windows.
there's a little breeze outside, but it's hella toasty.
It is toasty, my bro. Do you prefer lifting with people
No.
or lifting alone?
Absolutely not. That to me it's a personal preference. The reason I say no and I say absolutely not is because, and it depends. If I'm doing an actual training program with somebody, that's different. In general, no. I like to train alone. I even struggle with talking to people, as I'm a very social person. I like to interact with people at the gym, but I also don't. So there was, I think, a period in 2021 or 22 maybe, where I was training with a guy called Sibu. He used to work at the gym.
Yeah.
He does like jump rope and stuff.
Yeah.
Super fit. He's incredibly strong.
He's strong. Cheap as
He honestly, I trained with him for a period where I was home for 10 weeks. We did strength training just for those 10 weeks. And he pushed me well past my limits. And that was something I was comfortable doing because he was focused purely on me. It wasn't he was there to do his own workout. He was focused purely to help me progress.
That's cool.
And so he helped me get my bench up to 135. My deadlift was 192. And my back squat was 155. So he got my strength levels really, really elevated to a point where I was like very strong for my size. And I wasn't overly built, but I could lift the weight quite comfortably. And that was probably the only time I've been comfortable working out with somebody, even though it's not actually he was working out with me. He was more helping me push my limits. But in general, like how you and I work out, hey bro, how you doing? That's different because you and I have that association, but a lot of the guys in the gym, the younger guys, they'll come up and start trying to talk and tell me a story. And I'm like, sorry, bro, like tell me off the gym. Like not to be rude, but recently the last like week or two, I've really got into my zone where I'd felt I'd hit a bit of a rut because I spent too much time talking to people at the gym.
Yeah.
And my sessions had actually dipped. I wasn't getting the results I wanted. I wasn't getting the pump. I wasn't getting the muscle burn. I wasn't getting any of the things that I really enjoyed doing. And I just didn't feel that I felt like I was wasting my time. So I lost the passion that I have for lifting because I just felt like I'm going to the gym more for a social cause.
Yeah.
Whereas now, the last week or two, I've changed the music that I listen to, which has been a massive game changer.
It does, hey.
And it is heavy stuff. Like, it's not stuff I'd listen to outside of gym because I don't like it outside of gym. But at the gym, it's like,
Yeah, same.
it's go music. I'm like,
It's
oh,
go music.
I'm like, oh, okay. So it's great. But now I'm really pushing myself, and I'm doing split sessions, and I'm supersetting a lot, and it's in the last 2 weeks I've seen small changes. Things, a little bit more definition here. Oh, I haven't seen that muscle before. or haven't seen it in a long time, should I say. And you see things start to change, and then as your aesthetic starts to change and your progression starts to come through, then it's like, oh, okay. So now I've basically, unless I absolutely have to say hi to somebody, I'll just blank them. And then I'll go see them afterwards.
Yeah.
So like once I finish my workout, if they're still there, I'll go find them and be like, hey bro, how you doing? Sorry I didn't say hi earlier. It's not to be rude. It's just, I just, it's my own personal preference that I don't, I don't like to lose my train of progress in the gym.
That's valid. Yeah, I mean, it definitely depends for me, because I actually, last week I started, or just over 2 weeks ago, actually stopped a couple days ago, but I started training that girl. I started training that girl. I kind of was her sort of personal trainer. I don't want to say personal trainer, but kind of a coach for a little bit. But I just realized that, like, first of all, I don't really like training with people on a regular basis. But second of all, training girls specifically, it's so hard. Dude, it is so hard. I did not expect it to be so hard.
You better apologize.
Because, like, I'm sorry, but I'm saying for me personally, I'm not like making any presumptuous
I know what you're saying.
Statements about women in general when it comes to training. I'm just saying I struggle to work out with girls who are newer in the gym. I really struggle to do it.
To be fair with that statement, I mean, you'd struggle with anybody who's new in the gym.
I was about to say that.
Because it's going to take a lot more effort, a lot more time. You're going to have to do lighter weights. It's going to be a lot of fetching weights, dropping them. It's a lot more effort that goes into that. And for somebody who's been lifting for the while that you've been lifting, it's going to get frustrating because you're trying to progress, but now you have to go back to the start to help somebody else get to that level.
Yeah, but there is, I mean, I do on occasion train with people, like sort of more on my level. I know, Connor.
Is he kind of the tall, lanky one?
No. He's pretty much the same as me, like physique-wise. Like he's pretty much.
He's got the longer hair. He was on your podcast the other week, wasn't he?
No.
This is somebody else.
He hasn't been on my podcast. I did invite him on, but he said no. Rude.
Where does he live?
Yeah, come on.
I'll go find him for you.
No. He said he was busy, but he plays rugby. He's just a bit shorter than me. Super jacked, monster shoulders.
He always wears vests.
Yeah.
Like singlets. Yeah. He was at the gym yesterday.
I trained shoulders with him once, and I figured out that, like, because we like very similar when it comes to size, but also strength. So like we had the same weights, and we started almost making a little bit of a competition to see who could do the heaviest for the most amount of reps. And dude, it was actually so sick. Like that was probably one of the best shoulder pumps I ever got, because I had like a bit of competition with my training partner, and that was epic.
See, that would be fine.
That's a rare find though. Yeah.
There's a difference when you're training with people who are relatively new to the gym scene, or, if you like Connor, for example, where you're on the same level. Yeah. I'm not on the same level as Sibu by any means. That guy's just he's a freak.
He is a freak.
Love you, Sibs, but you're a freak. The weight, I mean, that guy doesn't even strap up, dude. He deadlifts like 240 or 260, no back brace and no straps, just barehanded. I'm just like, how? Like, that's some insane grip strength. Like that is, I know for a fact I can't do that. I'm not stupid enough to try. Because that's how people get hurt. Yeah. And that's, I think, where a lot of people don't realize their personal boundary is. They see somebody else do it and they go, oh, I'm going to try that. Clunk, there goes their back. Clunk.
One vertebrae.
Clunk. Yeah. Slip disc one time. So, but yeah, finding somebody who's on the same level as you it's rare. But if you can, hold on to it, because if you can build that friendship with somebody and that person is the type of person to push you and you're the person to push them, suddenly you guys will find together you'll grow, and you'll be the one to be like, bro, why are you drinking cocktails? There's so much sugar in them, you know. And he'll be like, bro, why are you eating that much cheese? I told you not to do that. You know, stuff like that.
Yeah.
Where you look out for each other, you give each other grief about stuff, but in a fun way.
Yeah.
You know, especially when you're doing it for the gains. It's
exactly.
You know.
Yeah, I mean, we were doing like laying face pulls, right? So when you lie on the bench, then you're doing like face pulls. I never thought of going too heavy because it was kind of one of those exercises you kind of forget about, like progressive overload. You know, it's like the small ones where you kind of like, you pick a weight and then you forget to like do more reps or up the weight. And then like, so my normal was like 20, 25 and you racked at 30. I'm like, oh, okay, sorry, you racked at 35. I was like, jeepers, bro, that's pretty heavy. And I was like, actually, wait, I can do this too. And then I was like, I racked at 40, right? And he was like, okay. And then I did like 10 reps or whatever. And he said, how many reps did you do? I did 10. He did 10 reps. He was doing, I had the advantage because he started the sets. So then he put on like 40 and then he did like 10 reps. I was like, how many reps did you do? 10. I was like, yeah, I'll do 10. And we ended up full racking it all the way up to 50. And I was like, how many reps did you do? 8. Like, I'm going to do 10. And bro, it's that kind of training partners. Like, that's so sick.
It's fun as well because you got them in your ear saying, come on.
Yeah.
You know, it's like earlier you came and you saw me and you were like, oh, he's struggling on that last one. And I was like, not a chance I'm going to let this guy spot me. I didn't mean anything like rude by that. I was just like, nah, bro. I know. Because it wasn't that much either. I think it was like, 100 kgs, if that, 80, 90 kgs. But I was already on like a failing set. So I was like, oh, and I was like, nah, Kathan's not helping me.
Yeah,
but it does change your workout dynamic. It actually makes it quite fun. So, you know, especially if you got somebody who can add a bit of humor to it. You know, come on, push the weight, do it now, come on.
Goodness
Get
me.
to the bench. Do it now.
Arnold, bro. What a legend.
Yeah.
Arnold's such a legend, bro.
Long after he's gone, his legacy and his voice will still be there.
Still remains, eh?
Yeah. But so will Ronnie Coleman. Lightweight.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
I mean, you know me. I say yeah, buddy all the time. You know that.
Yeah. I know you're in the gym because I hear from dancing. Yeah, buddy. Yeah. Kathan's here somewhere. So.
Goodness me. Who's your favorite fitness influencer, but like,
to be honest, I don't particularly have a fitness influencer that I admire. I mean, look, I admire the fact that those who have the physiques that they do, that have made a good name for themselves and a career and whatever, they've put the time and the effort and the hard yards into getting there, and that I appreciate. But I don't idolize things like that, so to speak. It's a bird.
That's good.
So, you know, I could
in the background.
I could easily say CBUM, for example. I just like what CBUM stands for, personally. So if I had to have somebody, it would probably be Arnold because of the golden era and the aesthetic that they put out versus today's modern bubble gut bodybuilding, you know, that's out there. I don't like that. But you look at CBUM and you look at Arnold. CBUM's a lot more conditioned than what Arnold was. Arnold had the proportion and the mass, and he was super lean. But CBUM's obviously got his steroid cycle that he takes that helps him get to the body fat percentage that he has.
Yeah. Also, I feel like the bubble gut thing faded out.
It has now.
Because obviously there's a stage of, obviously golden era was when PDs like were starting to get commonly used. And then there was the mass era, which was like
Jay
at a
Cutler,
high.
Ronnie Coleman.
And then just after that was the bubble gut era.
Yeah.
But I feel like right now, bodybuilders are taking health like quite seriously.
Yeah.
Take a look at the Mr. Olympias these days, like Derek Lunsford.
He's come a long way, actually.
Hardy Chupan. Derek Lunsford, dude, that guy, when it comes to bodybuilding, that guy's my biggest inspiration.
I remember seeing photos of him from his earlier days, and I was just like, oh, and even like the commentators used to say stuff like, oh, you know, he'll never be in the top 3, or he'll never be in the top 5, and you know, sometimes maybe might not even make top 10 on this year. But then you look at him now, and he's doing really well.
Yeah, he won Mr. Olympia last year.
Yeah. So he's coming, and what's that one? Chopin. What's the name?
Hardy Chupan.
Chupan,
Yeah.
Bro, that guy as well. I think he took a lot of people by surprise.
Yeah,
Like, his mass was
so shredded, dude.
He was, yeah. I think he surprised a lot of people.
Yeah.
But you know, the reason I say C-Bum for me personally is just because he's not arrogant. He's not cocky. He's quiet and he's humble to the point where he doesn't talk smack to people. He just, you know, I remember seeing a video clip of him with one of the other bodybuilders, one of the black guys, quite a short.
Brian Ansley?
Yes, I think it was that one. He's got like a little bit of a fro.
Yeah.
And Brian took his shirt off on stage and like put it over C-Bum's shoulder. And then C-Bum kind of just takes it off and like looks at the MC and kind of just shrugs and, you know, doesn't say very much. And there, you know, Brian's flexing on stage and all this, talking a lot of smack and stuff. And then he lost.
Yeah, literally.
I mean, what on earth is the biggest flex in the world? You know, to win Mr. Olympia, 4 times now?
Yeah. No, 5?
No, he's 4.
No, 4, yeah.
Yeah, it's 4 in a row now. Or 3.
No, 4.
It's 4, yeah.
4.
But to win it that many times, and he's still so humble.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Granted, he's probably taking a step back now because he's about to have a kid. But,
yeah,
you know, I mean, the fact that he's won it 4 times, I mean, they can say whatever they want about Ronnie Coleman 8 times. And Arnold was what, 7? 6?
Arnold was 7, 6 in a row, but then he retired, and then he came back 1, and then retired again.
Yeah, I mean, that's also a big flex.
Literally.
But either way, I mean, the fact that, you know, you can win it that many times in a row and still not be arrogant and cocky about that achievement, you know, it's fantastic. I mean, you look at Jay Cutler, for example. Shit, that guy tried for years.
Did he?
He tried for years. It was just as he was about to give up where he finally won.
Yeah.
He finally beat Ronnie. And that was like his biggest achievement. And then he won it, what, how many times?
I don't actually know.
He won it a fair few times.
Yeah.
I think he won it 4 or 5 times.
Oh, battery's running out. I gotta replace it real quick. Back online.
Yep. Super.
Okay, so for me personally, Derek Lunsford, also super humble guy, but like not just like not cocky, but like he's so humble and kind. Like he won the I think it was, what was it called, the People's Award.
Oh, no surprises, yeah.
Yeah, like because first of all, because I'm a Christian, I really admire this from him. He shows his faith like a lot, not to like brag about it, but like he's super kind. And like you can see in his videos, like before anything serious happens, like sometimes they'll leave it on camera, like he'll just like sit down and pray, and he'll just like pray a lot, and then you can tell he puts God before everything that he does. And so he's like, I'm here, but that's because of God, you know.
Yeah.
So he's super selfless, and his mind is just in the right place. So that guy's a big inspiration for me, because yeah, that's the kind of guy I want to be like. Not necessarily as big as him. I don't know if I'd want to be a Mr. Olympia, but
I mean, I don't know. As I've grown up, you know, I was like, oh, I want to be like that guy, or I want to be like that, or I want to be like that. Now I'm at the age where I don't want to be like anyone but myself.
yeah, same.
If that makes any sense. I'm
No, I'm
comfortable
the
with
same,
who I am. I've achieved a lot in the last 10 years of my life. I've done quite well for myself. I've done it all off my own hard work and, you know, my own determination and grit, and just putting my head down and going for it. And I've obviously had the family support and, you know, friends and the people who care about me, which is obviously always appreciated. But at the end of the day, you put yourself in a certain position by your decisions, your actions, your hard work, etc. So for me, at this point in life, I admire what people have achieved, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I aspire to be that person or like that person. I can appreciate what they've done and say, fantastic, great milestone. The way you look, phenomenal. Can I get there? Not quite. Maybe if I went on the same steroid cycle, but again, I wouldn't ever go on steroids. So I know for me, as much as, that word might have different meanings to different people, for me, I'm quite comfortable with who I am as a person, my own physique. I'm not the leanest, most shredded guy, but I'm happy with my strength level, the effort I put in, and the effort I go to staying healthy and, clean, so to speak. But, I'm also, 12 years older than you. So I'm at that age where I'm quite comfortable knowing that if I don't ever have a six-pack again, for example, it is what it is. It's not a big deal. But that's not to say that right now I'm not dieting, because I do want a six-pack. I want to get there again. But it's just going to take that much more extra work because I do have slow metabolism. I have to take things into account at my age. Not, again, that I'm extremely old, but, I'm comfortable with who I am. So, I do have people that I look up to as a role model, and I appreciate the values and thoughts that they put forward, but it doesn't necessarily mean that I would, aspire to be them.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely, from experience, I would definitely recommend trying to take influences as like inspiration rather than goals, because once your goal is to look like someone, then that's when it gets really, first of all, demotivating.
Yeah.
Because they if you're training the same as them, they're still making progress. So even if you're making the same amount of progress as them because you're doing the same thing,
you're still behind.
You're still behind because, and then also very tempting, obviously, to take PEDs, try and look like this person. So that's another reason why. But
again, that goes back to body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
Because if you're aspiring to look like Joey Swole, for example, the guy's massive.
He is
massive.
Huge,
that guy's been training probably since he came out the womb. I mean, he's huge. Much love to you, Joey Swole.
Like he'd be watching this.
You never know.
Who knows? Yeah,
maybe we tag him in and then he watches it.
Yeah, maybe.
You never know.
Hey, Joey, come pull in.
Yeah, bro, pull in anytime. But
you're welcome to come on if you'd like. Eh?
Come to South Africa.
Yeah.
But no, point being that this is again where I can admire what the fitness influencers do, but at the end of the day, there's a lot of them, and I would even go so far as to say majority of the fitness influencers out there are doing it just to make money.
Yeah.
It's more for how many views can I get? How many, you get Brad and Sarah. Their content in a way is somewhat wholesome because it's fun, it's engaging, it's like a brother-sister relationship. They give each other shit all the time and they push each other.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, they're also doing it for views. So it's like, both of them are in great shape. Brad built himself a name through his career, and then Sarah kind of trained with him and they became friends, and somehow, she's now got her own channel and all the other stuff that goes with that. But again, these guys are all in it for the clout and for the money.
Yeah, there's so much drama on that side of the
exactly. Whereas
so much like unnecessary drama.
And that's why I don't pay so much attention to it, because I don't care. Like I'm so comfortable with who I am as a person, and the people I have in my life, and I'm grateful for the people I have in my life, and just the naturalness of it versus that side of things where it's staged.
Yeah.
I don't care. I don't have time for drama. I'm one of those people when people come to me with drama, I'm just like,
just get out of here.
Come on. At work, it's part of my job to, when there's issues, I'll deal with it in a professional capacity.
Yeah.
Happy, no problem. But when I'm at home and I'm on my own time and, people come to me and they make drama for the sake of making, I'm just, bro, come on, please, just, I'll listen because I'm just an empathetic person in general, but I get to the point where I'm like, please, just go to the gym and take your frustrations out there.
Yeah, go deadlift.
Exactly. Or go leg press.
Your leg press too, yeah.
Don't lock your legs though.
Oof. Oh yeah, bro. Locking legs on leg press. Bro, I'm sure the Trent twins do that. I've seen in one of their videos, they were like, it's really bad because obviously they're strong, so they lift a lot of weight. And I'm pretty much sure I saw the one time, I think Chris, well, both of them, but I think it was Chris at the time, the one video I was watching when they were doing, I think they were trying Tom Platt's leg day or something like that. Each rep, he would finish, and he would just like completely lock his knees, but there were like 10 plates on each side of the... So he literally had 20 plates, and he would lock his knees every time. You just see his knees go plonk. Like, I was just like, bro. I clicked off the video. I couldn't keep watching.
There's too many videos I've seen, even just by accident, where somebody's locked their legs and both their legs just
break both of them at the same
break
time.
like straw, bro.
No, they don't break. They just keep going.
Yeah, and they just fold the wrong way, and I'm just like, that's.
How do you fix yourself from that position? Because then I'll go further down from the rack, so you can't like rack it, and then you can't move your legs out the way.
Obviously
so
there's the stoppers.
Yeah, I know.
So like
but
even at our gym, it comes to a certain point, then it stops.
Yeah, I know. But if your legs bend the wrong way,
well, the only way you can get out is to slide out like a snake. Just fold yourself sideways and slide off. But I mean, you're straight to hospital for surgery after that. So don't lock your legs when you do leg press.
Straight to hospital, or shortcut to heaven.
One of the two.
One of the two.
Preferably the first one.
Yeah, preferably the first one.
But preferably none of them.
Exactly. Next thing is, what's your take on supplements? Are you a supplement guy?
I am a supplement guy. I take
creatine, protein powder.
Yeah, so I take creatine, HL creatine, which is the capsules from Nutri. Or is it Muscle Tech? Who do you have here in South Africa? It's Nutritech.
Muscle Tech.
Or Muscle Tech.
Yeah.
Nutritech's US. Okay, sorry.
No, Nutritech as well.
It's green. It's a green one. I think it's Nutritech.
Green one's Nutritech.
Yeah, so it's the Nutritech. So
Muscle Tech's like blue and red, I think, or something like that.
I don't know. So whatever. But either way, I take the HCL creatine. I think it's 4 or 5 capsules before my workout, like half an hour, 40 minutes before, with my pre-workout. And that's 300 milligrams caffeine. It's not overly dosed or super strong. I mean, for most people, if they want that extra...
With creatine?
No, I'll take my pre-workout with my creatine tablets.
Oh, I see. Okay, that makes sense. I was like, bro, your creatine is caffeine?
Yeah.
Wow.
So I'll do my workout. So while I'm on the treadmill doing my warm-up and all my cardio and stuff, I'll be sipping on that. Because obviously as you're using your water intake or whatever water is in your system and you're replenishing, I'm then taking in my pre-workout, which I find by the time I'm finished on the treadmill and I get into my workout, I'm nice and tingly. And I'm just at the right level that I want to be at.
Oh, you like the tingles? Like the itchy skin?
Not itchy skin. I like when your veins start to pop out a little bit because your vascularity is, your veins have kind of opened up a little bit. If you've got a little bit of nitric oxide in with your pre-workout, then, it'll help open things up a little bit. But, after my workout, I've got, I use Cycle as well. So Cycle is a protein brand or a supplements brand.
I see.
Their stuff's really nice, like good flavor. Like I'm on their chocolate flavor at the moment. Phenomenal flavor, like really good.
Nice.
Super low sugar. I think it's next to nothing, if I'm not mistaken. I'll check later. But I'll take that, and then, within an hour or so after I get home, I have my BCAAs and glutamine.
I see, yeah.
So I just kind of mix them into the same glass, mix it all together, drink it. And then, I've already taken everything in one shot pretty much an hour after or so my workout. But I'll eat in that same hour as well. So it depends on how busy my day is, because sometimes I have to hit the road, to go see family or see friends out in somewhere, and then I have to take, a sippy cup or something with me, and I'll just sip it on the road on the way to wherever I'm going.
And do you have a take on the testosterone production assisters, like testosterone production boosters, such as like Tribulus tertius or ashwagandha, or there's a few other like tree roots.
People can say whatever they want about those things. I personally don't think there's any benefit. I think as a man, your natural testosterone level, and granted some guys are born with higher testosterone levels and others lower, there's ways that you can improve your testosterone even just with your diet without having to take artificial.
It's not
boosters.
Artificial though.
No,
it's from plants, so
it's a root
technically it is
extract.
diet.
No, I do get that, but I've never been one to add things to try and improve composition within the body. I just bless you.
Oh, excuse me.
Look, those are the natural options, and so therefore I have no opinion about it. It doesn't bother me. If people want to take those, that's fine. I will happily admit I have tried them in the past. I just didn't get any results. I didn't feel that my testosterone level increased. I didn't feel that my strength levels increased, that my output was any better. So I've just never gone back to them because I have tried it. I didn't feel much different.
Yeah, same. I think for me, I had a little bit of difference, but it was so slight that it really didn't matter.
No.
Like it really,
because
even if there was, but like if there was, it was very small.
Yeah, and we're also at peak ages, so there's no real need. Now, when you get up to 40, 45, 50 years old, naturally, you're going to need testosterone to help. If you want to keep lifting the way that you lift now when you're 45, 50 years old, then yeah, you're going to need to. You look at The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, 100% the dude's on steroids.
Yeah.
If anybody even says to me, oh, no, bullshit, don't even lie to me.
Yeah.
There's no ways that he's over 50 years old. There's no ways he's that big and that lean year round with that much baby oil.
That much baby oil.
Looking that good.
Baby oil.
At his age, without something unnatural.
I think we get the fact that he's not natural.
Yeah. So what was it? The veins in his head, or I'm kidding. No, but it's at that age. Look, sure, whatever. Do what you want. You're not really going to be stunting your testosterone, but I think people should use what they have until they get to the age where they need assistance. That's kind of what my opinion on it. Like if I think to myself, "Oh, would I go on to testosterone?" and I think to myself, "But for what?" I'm already decently stocky. I don't really want to put on more mass. The more muscle mass you put on, the heavier you get, the harder it is to do things. Even just fit in basic clothing sizes.
Yeah.
Suddenly you got to go on to really baggy clothes, and things don't fit you properly, and you struggle to fit in places. Even if I got too big, I wouldn't be able to fit in my car.
Yeah, literally.
My car is small.
Yeah.
But if my shoulders sit over the sides of my seats, and those are bucket seats. And if I had to put on mass, like if I was Joey Swole size, there's no ways in hell.
Yeah.
No ways.
I mean, there was a video I watched. Chris Bumstead. He went looking at his dream car. Basically, it was one of those old school Mustangs.
Oh,
he didn't fit in it.
Yeah,
so he couldn't. So his dream was crushed because
pretty much
it was like
crushed by the gains.
Literally, his dream car was there, and he tried to get in. He couldn't even get in. Never mind, like sit there and be comfortable. He literally couldn't climb in.
I mean, I also like riding motorcycles. Imagine if I was that big and I was trying to ride a motorcycle.
Have you seen that video of Ronnie Coleman?
Yeah,
yeah,
he's just driving a GSXR.
Yeah,
and I'm just like, no, let's be real, bro. You can't even filter lanes when you do that. Your lats are just too big. If you can't even fit through a door, how are you going to fit down a filtered lane? You're going to knock everyone's mirrors off.
Just boom, boom, boom.
Just mirror after mirror, ding, 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 ding. But I mean, you get my point. So I mean, for me, it's one of those things. I'm comfortable with the physique I have. I'm not the leanest or the biggest guy, and I got no problem with that. But I have a different view on the aesthetics than most people would. Most people are like, yep, I would do it so that I could get a six pack, so I can have a V cut and all this other stuff. it's all naturally attainable.
Like as in PEDs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's all naturally attainable. What people don't realize is if you build the muscle and you've got size, the muscle's there. You just need to change your diet and those muscles will appear.
Yeah.
And once you burn that fat off, those muscles will appear. And that's what people don't realize is they think that they need that extra step. What you're actually doing is you're cutting corners. So if you don't, and I feel like people also miss out on what the challenge really is. If you don't actually do the proper diet and you try and cut corners with PEDs, testosterone, etc., you're not actually giving yourself the full mental picture of exactly how hard it is to get through those things. And I'd say that with a pinch of salt as well, because I know for bodybuilders, their diets are extreme, even though they take steroids, PEDs, and all that other stuff. And I'm not taking anything away from them. I'm just saying that for guys who are starting out, don't go to that as a first option. Do it naturally, especially for guys who are like your age, where you're already young, you're lean as it is. You guys can pack on lean muscle. There's that guy who's got the longest hair who was on one of your podcasts recently.
Joe.
I think it might have been Joe.
Yeah, tall guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, Joe.
And he's got a really good physique and he's improving every week. And every time I go away and I come back from work, he's in even better shape. So, you know, if he's doing things naturally, which it looks like he is,
he is doing it, actually.
He's doing a really good job. And I can appreciate that because nobody can take that away from him. You know, whereas if people who are on additives stop taking them, the only thing that's going to take that away from them is themselves because their body's going to sag. And that's kind of why I say I wouldn't do it, because the risk is too high versus the reward. Because you have to consistently do it in order to maintain what you have. Versus if you do it naturally, it's easier to maintain because it's mostly your diet.
Yeah. Yeah, 100%, brilliant. And what would you say to the people that are very seriously taking a goal to like be Mr. Olympia? Like they want to make like bodybuilding a career, or they want to take it really seriously, you know?
Honestly, if people want to go down that route, then they need to do proper research into what exactly it takes. What you're going to sacrifice now, what you're going to sacrifice in the future, because you're going to have health complications later down the line. Like, for example, Chris Bumstead, he's openly said he doesn't recommend people do the cycle he's on because he knows that the consequences of what he's doing could be disastrous.
Yeah.
And for those of us who are fit and healthy and young and can still do stuff, if you don't need to, don't do it. But if you want to follow, for example, in Arnold's footsteps or C-Bum's footsteps, it's completely your decision. No one's forcing you. But if you feel comfortable doing it and your reward outweighs the risk and you can have more pros than cons, by all means, be my guest. I'll support you 100% of the way. If that's what you decide to do and you've done the research and you can comfortably say to me, I have zero doubt in the back of my mind. If you can look at me in the eye and you say to me, I'm going to be a champion, and I 100% believe you, you'll have my backing all the way.
Yeah.
But it's if somebody looks at me and I'm like, are you sure? And they give me a little bit of self-doubt.
I'm going to try my best.
That's when I'm like, you know, I'll back you, but to a certain point.
Yeah.
You know, because it's the ones that don't fully believe in their dream that tend to drop off. And so I say that because there's a lot of guys out there who've tried the bodybuilding thing and they've never succeeded because it gets too hard.
Yeah.
Or something stands in their way.
Hard.
Like, you know. But yeah, I mean, honestly, like, people are entitled to do what they want. I might not necessarily agree with things, but that doesn't mean, like, for you, if you said to me, Jim, I want to go do bodybuilding, I know it's a passion of yours. I know it's a career you want to follow. If that's what you want to do, I'll support you. It's as simple as that.
Nice. Full stop.
Full stop.
Yeah, buddy. Personal trainers. Personal trainers.
I love how we both just look at each other.
What is do you think personal trainers would you recommend personal trainers?
To start out with, yes.
Oh, really? Okay.
If you are looking to get into lifting and sort of changing your physique to muscular and lean and stuff, then yes. But I would go with somebody who has the physique that you're sort of looking to attain.
Yes.
Because if you go to any old schmo who, yeah, I can get you there, it might not be the case. You might end up with a guy who's more worried about what's going on in the rest of the gym than he is about pushing you to your full potential or showing you the right techniques. I've seen a lot of trainers where they've got guys that are, or ladies right in front of them. Their technique to me, from what I've seen and how I've been taught over the years, completely incorrect. And I just sit there and I'm like, and I look at them and I'm like, I don't
20
judge.
more.
Yeah, no, I don't judge, but I sit there and I'm just like,
Yeah.
okay, it might be judgment, but I don't think it is, because it's me looking and trying to understand how.
It's more of a healthy judgment.
Yeah, it's like, but that's wrong. As far as I know, that's wrong. I might not be certified in training, but what I do has results. That,
Yeah.
like, there's a lot of things where I just see the trainers sit down and they chat to other people in the background and they pay zero attention to the person who's actually paying them to train them.
Yeah.
You know, and this it's I go back to Sibu. When Sibu was training me, I was his sole focus. Sure, he would say hello to people as, hey Sibs, how are you? Yeah, good, thanks, how are you? But he would focus on me.
Yeah.
And that to me is critical, because that is important. I've got a high school friend, his name's Devo Sissing, and he competes. He's doing the bodybuilding thing as well. He's in phenomenal shape. He always has been. He's a PT, and when I stayed in Sea Point about 2-3 years ago, I was paying him to train me. And the amount of insight I got from him just for different lifting techniques and adjusting this to do that and little finesse things, phenomenal, because he was paying attention to me. He has the physique that it's phenomenal. It's mostly natural. You know, obviously I don't know if he takes anything. I've never asked him. It's not my business, but he has a phenomenal physique. You know, he's big, he's muscular, he's lean. And when he gets to his competitions, he's like incredible shape. But he taught me certain movements that just really improved my lifting style, especially on shoulder press. That just helps with joints and, just overall progress. But he paid attention. So, do I believe in personal trainers? It depends. Is it the right personal trainer for you and what your goals are and what you want to achieve? And are they going to teach you how to actually lift with the correct form? That's ultimately where my thing is.
Yeah, I mean, I get so annoyed when there's like these older oaks with these dad bods, and they're like, I'm gonna give you a 6-pack, and they're like, here's my certificate. I studied all this.
What, a 6-pack of beer?
Literally, but like,
just joking.
in my books, right? Actually, let me make a comparison. Would you rather learn how to drive from someone who's read the manual or someone who's driven a car? Someone who's driven a car, right? So would you rather get trained by someone, I mean, I don't want to be rude, but someone with a very mid physique,
yeah,
that says they can transform you, or someone who is like a bodybuilder,
yeah,
for example, where they've done this for a while?
Hope you don't mind. I'm going to show you what Devo looks like so you can actually see what I mean.
But I mean, yeah, like I would definitely say it's worth it for, like, if it's someone who's actually got, first of all, got a really good physique, and then and that's what you get the personal trainer for. But I mean, I guess there are the few kind of things where it's like they've got an injury and they're trying to sort of recover a joint, or they're trying to sort of train around some sort of injury, then like, you know, whatever. But when it comes to building physique, and then there's just, you know, this oak that promises you that he's gonna transform you. And also, like, as well, they I noticed the personal trainers were like, not only they'll be, oh wow, yeah, jeepers, that's a solid physique.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Do you mind sending to me that so I can put it up on the screen?
Yeah.
For when I.
For some reason, my internet's gassing a little bit, but I'll send you his.
There's like the reception here is terrible.
Yeah.
But anyway, so excuse the
chillin'.
No one in my family takes my podcast very seriously, so there's lots of noise around, but that's fine. We'll just ignore that.
That's fine. But I'll send it to you so everyone can see what Devo looks like.
Yeah,
but sure. I mean, Devo, you know, he's
Mike. The mic's.
Sorry. Devo's placed, you know, quite decently in the last few comps that he's done. So I mean, I'd rather take his advice over the trainers at our gym, for example. Yeah. And I don't mean that rudely. I just mean that our trainers at our gym are more geared towards just general movement and recovery and
get your body moving. Not get jacked kind of thing.
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the trainers at our gym, there's no personal trainers in the sense of what we would want.
Yeah.
If that makes any sense. You go to Virgin, you get the guys that you know, the big guys. Who live in the gym.
I mean, even then, like they'll tell someone to do something, and then they'll start like having a conversation about a story while they're busy doing something. And I'm like, if you'd like trying to push these people hard to get them fit or whatever, and you're talking while you're doing a set, like that, you're not doing much if you're gonna have a full conversation during a set.
I've seen some videos of some, especially like the Brazilian personal trainers. I've seen some of those women personal trainers. Bro, those women go hard. Like, I've seen them training women, like, on leg day, and they shout at them, bro. Like, I don't understand what they're saying, because obviously they speak in
That's all we need. Those are the personal trainers we need.
You see these girls, and their legs are toned, and their quads are popping, and hammies look good, and their glutes are phenomenal, and the chicks are like, oh, God. You can see them just dying, and the coach is like, you will do it. Like,
4 more. No, get down.
Yeah, they push them, dude. Yeah. They push them. It's like next level, like intense, and that's what you need. You need that person or that trainer who's going to tell you, no, you will give me 1 more, and they'll push you to failure.
Yeah,
you know. And when I trained with Devo, for example, he made me do a leg day so intense, I almost threw up. Like I was dead at the end of it, and everyone around me thought it was hilarious. And afterwards, I was just like, my God, I hated that. But at the same time, I was also like, phenomenal.
yeah, really. I mean, train hard, that's a priority, eh? If you don't get that right, then if you don't train hard, then results are going to take a very long time to show.
Training is like a drug, though. So you either get hooked or you don't.
Yeah, literally. I don't get one thing that a lot of people say that I honestly don't understand, because I've never had it before. Oh, 2 things. First of all is like, you know, I tried to come to gym yesterday, but just like really didn't feel like going, because that's like the first one. It's because I always feel like going to gym, because first of all, like I go there. It's first of all, it's habit, but second of all, it's majority of my social life too, because I don't do much outside of gym. So like I got to see my friends.
Yeah, of
course. I have a bit of social time. So. Not obviously just to go to gym and talk, but, you know. So, I mean, that first of all. But second of all, when people talk about getting back into it after like a month or 2, because like sometimes I wish I could like relate with them or help them, but the longest I've taken off is 1 week.
Yeah, for me, when people say I'm going to get back into it, I'm like, don't talk, just do. Like, don't tell me about it.
Actions are stronger than words.
Show me. I don't care. You can talk all you want, and that's my thing. Like, if I say to you, I didn't make it to the gym yesterday because I just didn't have the time because I was in milk boss or something, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Like, yesterday I only just made it to gym in time. I was out in Maltbos, for example, and I was aiming to be back by like 2 or 3 o'clock. I only ended up leaving at 3:30. I got home by 10 to 5, and I hadn't eaten for most of the day.
Ouch. Yeah.
So that was tough. But I got home at 8, and 15, 20 minutes later I left for the gym. I got to gym and I was there till maybe close to 7 before I went home. Granted, we live 5 minutes away from the gym. It's not very far. But
Yeah.
point is that even after the day that I had, I still went to gym. Today, for example, public holiday. Let me check what time the gym closes. Google. It closes at 8. I don't believe that. So I messaged one of the people that work there. Hey, what time does the gym close? Oh, it closes at 3, thanks to the holiday. I was like, haha, okay, let me reschedule
whenever
my day.
it says on Google, whenever it says hours might differ, then it's 3 p.m.
Yeah, so I switched my day around quite a bit, and I hauled ass over to the gym because I was like, oh, I got Kathan at 1, and if I don't go before then, I'm not going to make it to the gym. Like, the gym's closed now. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
if we hadn't gone when we did earlier, we wouldn't have made it. So
Yeah.
for me, I get life throws curveballs, and sometimes there's certain excuses like work and stuff, but I also think that people need to have a work-life balance, which is why where I'm at in my career now with 2 months on, 2 months off, is really fantastic because I can still do my gym stuff and work and, balance things. And if people are into the gym and stuff, then I think, people need to finish their work day. And if they have social events to get to, fantastic. Go to the gym first. Do your thing. Ultimately, it comes down to what goals you want to achieve. If it's not such a serious goal of yours that you want to achieve, then I'm not going to take you seriously.
Yeah.
If you're not actually putting in the effort. You and I, we see each other at the gym every single day. You either catch me on the treadmill or you catch me in the weight section doing something. So there's a difference there, where we can actually actively see each other trying to progress. And that I can respect. Because you're not talking to me about it, you're doing something.
Yeah, I mean, for me, it's like if you lacked the motivation to go to the gym, or it's like, oh, it's sorry, I just didn't go anytime last week because last week I was just feeling tired, or I was like a little bit busy, but I was like, it's a whole week, surely you could find, if you cut at least a couple of days to go. At that point, it's kind of like, do you actually want to change?
No, exactly.
Because if you really wanted to, you would have made it happen. But
yeah, I mean, I've had days where I'm completely flat, and like the last 2 weeks I've been really on it. But the weeks before that, there were days where you'd be like, oh, how was your session? I was like, yeah, it was all right. Because I felt flat. I'd still come to gym, I'd still done my workout, but I just didn't feel that it was what I wanted to achieve. So in a sense, it would be disappointing and just, I didn't achieve what I wanted. But point being, I was still there.
yeah.
So I still tried to do it. I might not have achieved the pump or burn that I wanted, and I might not have torn as much muscle fiber as I should have, but I still did it.
Yeah.
So I guess it comes down to it being a mental game as well, whether you got the strong mentality or not.
Exactly. By the way, do you have a time pressure in terms of when you need to leave? No? Shall we keep going?
If you want.
Let's keep going.
Depends how much content you want to put on.
It does depend on how much. I mean, we can wrap it up reasonably soon, but go through at least one or two more. Strength or aesthetics?
Ooh. That's a tough one because you can't. I mean, you can get the aesthetics with the strength, because if you don't push your body, you don't get the aesthetics. So it's hit and miss with that one. But honestly, for the work I do, where I do a lot of heavy lifting, quite a lot at work. Where, for example, we've got sea bobs, which are like motorized water scooter things that you kind of lie on, and it pulls you through the water.
Yeah,
it's quite cool.
That's cool.
But those.
Oh yes, no, I know what you're talking about now. Those are sick.
They're quite popular on the yachts. Guests love them, and you can dive down, and they're pretty cool. But those are quite heavy, and so you have to lift those, and quite often you having to lean over to the side and grab it in the water, and then lift it out the water and let the water drain, and then you've got to lift it out onto the deck. So You'd be surprised. A lot of guys struggle. Oh, I need a hand. You got to go help them with that. You probably wouldn't have an issue with it because you lift and things are strong. I'm not saying that people don't have natural strength. It's just when you lift, you can lift that much more than normal people can. Yeah. Quite often at work, people will call me because, Jim, we need to lift this. We just need an extra bit of muscle, which sometimes it's annoying, but I also appreciate the fact that they need me to come help them with something because it's cool.
Yeah.
Because you can do what other people can't.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not saying I'm overly strong because, I probably wouldn't be stronger than you, for example.
Well, depends. I'm not very strong at a lot of movements. Some movements I am, some movements I'm not. But
yeah, but again, everyone's physique is different. But, we do a fair amount of heavy lifting and, beach setups and, stuff for guests where it requires us to work long hours and lift things consistently and, just be super active and fit. So, I'm more on the strength side of things at the moment, but because I've got the size that I want, I'm moving slightly away from the strength side of things to more of the high repetition aesthetic side of things, because I'm trying to tone and cut down a little bit.
I see.
But that's only because I've already achieved the strength level I want to achieve. I don't need to be stronger than what I am now. There's no real purpose to it. If I had to get into a fight, I could hold my own. I'm not really worried about that. But aesthetically, would it be nice to be able to see my six-pack again? Yeah. I would like that. It would be nice. And that's kind of what I'm working towards. It's not necessarily for vanity or anything. It's more of just a personal challenge. This is what I used to look like. Can I do it again?
Yeah.
What about you? Are you going... Well, I think actually for you, I think I already know the answer. I think yours is more for the aesthetic. Because
I was about to say I'm torn between both right now.
That's fair.
Because the thing is, honestly, at the moment, I don't really have... I mean, I've explained this on the podcast a couple of times. For those of you regular listeners, you absolute G's out there. I don't really have goals in terms of when it comes to training, what to get to. The only really goal I have is to train hard and get a good pump on the day. So train hard every day is my goal, kind of thing. So I'm not trying to. Yes, I'm trying to build my physique, but I'm not trying to look a lot bigger or a lot more shredded or anything like that. I just really enjoy the process of bodybuilding.
Yeah.
So it just comes from enjoyment. I don't force it. So, but I would definitely say at the moment probably. I don't know. I don't know.
So your decision's in the middle.
Yeah, it's pretty much 50-50. Maybe a tiny bit towards... Actually, no, probably a little bit towards strength. Because the thing is, I already have a good aesthetic that I'm very happy with. But what annoys me a bit is I feel like I'm a little bit too big in comparison to my strength. I'm not as strong as I look.
Yeah, but that's probably also a mental thing. I think you can lift a lot more weight than what you think you should be able to.
Huh?
It's a mental thing. I think in your head, you're saying, I'm this big, but I feel like I can only lift this much. But in reality, it's actually proportionate, because what you also got to take into account is that you're quite tall.
Yeah.
So, there's that.
Yeah.
For me, on the other hand, I'm short and stocky. So I might feel the opposite way, where I'm like, I have the size.
That's true, though.
But I can't lift that. Why can't I lift that? It doesn't make a difference at the end of the day.
Yeah.
It's one of those things. Or it might even be similar to saying, you can lift something, but I can't lift something because the movement doesn't agree with me. You know, like my rotator cuffs might not like a shoulder press movement that you like to do.
Yeah.
And I can't then lift the same weight that you can. But I should be able to, but I can't. And that's, again, comes down to everyone's personal physique. It's in their body and their, you know, it's catering to what you like, really.
Yeah, we're also ever so slightly different in the most unique ways. It's great.
Superb.
There was one last question I wanted to tap in on here. What do you want to be remembered for?
Oh, see, that's a tough one. That is a tough one. I know a lot of people would be like, oh, you know, I want to leave a legacy of money or a legacy of having a great physique or a legacy of something. But honestly, I don't have kids or a wife yet. But one day, if my grandkids remember me as the fun grandpa, the fun loving grandpa who made sure that everybody in his world was happy and safe and, you know, financially secure, then that's perfectly fine by me. I've kind of got the old school sort of mentality of wanting to look after my family and provide for them. And, you know, already now, the last few years, I've already been, you know, setting aside money for when I do have kids, whenever that might be, to make sure that by the time that they get to school age, pre-primary's paid for, primary school's paid for, high school's paid for, university's paid for, and then there's that little bit extra on top. By the time that, you know, things get to that maturity, there's enough for them to move out and find their feet. And, you know, but again, that's something that I've picked up from my own parents, where when I started in my career, they gave me a small loan, which I had to pay back. But it was enough of a starter to get me going with my current career. And that was all I needed. And I paid them back in full the first chance I got. But that's kind of where I want to be. I want to be, you know, if I leave behind a legacy, it's that my family are happy, healthy, looked after. You know, obviously people need to have their own jobs and follow their own dreams and stuff.
Yeah.
But, you know, as long as my family and friends can remember me for being down to earth and caring, that's fine by me.
Nice, bro. I
don't need to leave behind an empire.
Not trying to be like the next Andrew Tate here.
No. Well, I mean, also at the end of the day, I'm perfectly content with my family and friends. I don't, you know, I've done well for myself for my age. I'm, you know, I don't throw it in anybody's face. I don't, you know, put it out there for people. But you know, I'm perfectly okay with, you know, one day when I do go, as long as I have a family that's happy and healthy, yeah, that's fine. As long as I'm remembered for for good things rather than, you know, negatives.
Yeah.
Then that's fine. So it's like my sister's kids, for example, you know, I want to be known as the fun uncle because I am fun.
Same.
So
my sister also has kids, so I'm also really known as the fun uncle.
It's like yesterday.
I'm the only one in the same country, so.
Oh, well, there you go. Yeah. Fun Uncle K.
Yeah.
But, you know, yeah, like yesterday it was breakup day. I went to go pick the kids up.
Nice.
With the bucky, and they were super excited because they hadn't ever been in it before. So,
you know, sick.
You know, whenever
it comes... chucked them in the back.
Well, I chucked one of them in the back.
One of them.
One of them. The other one was like, oh, I want to see in front. So I was like, okay. But, you know, it's the small things in life I think people undervalue. Time with family and friends.
Yeah.
You know, especially close friends that one might have. You know, people need to nurture and maintain relationships. And that's one thing I realized over the last 10 years is you can have friends now, but they'll fade away. Because if you are the type of person who puts a lot of effort and time and investment into relationships with people like I do, you tend to get to a point where you get very frustrated because people don't reciprocate that, because they're doing it with the other people that they want to, and you might not be that one person that they're doing it with. So you know, there'll come a time in your life where you kind of go, oh, I've tried so hard with these people and it's not being reciprocated, and at that point you kind of just got to let things go. And if those people kind of notice that things have changed and they come back, then they'll come back, and it's meant to be. But at the same time, appreciate the small things, the friends that check in and check up on you, the family that you don't often talk to but you appreciate and that you love. You know, just check in on those small things, because I think a lot of people don't realize time flies by and then people are gone and you're like, oh, I should have done X, Y, and Z, but it's too late. Yeah. So.
Yeah, bro. And final question is I want to go into, for these guys might be very interested in this, but tell us about your cars, bro. Tell us about your cars, please.
Okay, so back in 2022, just for my 28th birthday, I happened to be home. I was on holiday. Yeah. I didn't have as much time off then as I did now.
I see.
And it was just before I bought my house as well. So actually in the same year I bought my car and my house.
Oh, okay.
But basically I was looking around, and one of my dream cars has always been a Jaguar F-Type. And I found a 2016 F-Type, a 3-liter V6. One owner, full service history, super low mileage. Those two things right there, full service history, low mileage, were gold items for me. They always are.
Yeah.
Because it means the vehicle's been maintained, and one owner generally means if there's a low mileage, it's been a Sunday cruiser.
Yeah.
Which means it's a garage queen, which perfectly fine. As long as there's a full service history, I'm game, because that means it's in good nick. So I went to go look at it. Beautiful car, nice fixed wing at the back. Normally they come with a little one that's quite small, and it comes up at about 120 k's or something, 100 k's an hour or something. It pops up automatically. But you can put it up or down with a button inside the console, cool, which is fine. But yeah, just the raw power and drive of the car, it's phenomenal. Like anything past 3,000 RPM and she just screams down the road. It's just...
Yeah.
I mean, granted, it is, I think it's 4.8 seconds to 0 to 60.
Jeepers.
Which is not the quickest, but it's still phenomenally fast.
Yeah, it's still very fast.
You know, it gets right up there. It's got Tiptronic, you know, pedals, and that's
epic.
I'll take you for a drive sometime.
Oh yeah, bro, I'd love to.
I mean, it sounds, just the drive, you know, it's phenomenal.
You busy after this?
Huh?
You busy after this?
No, I'll take you.
Ah, yes. Yeah.
Scored. And then just recently, the last 2 months ago, or a couple of months ago, I bought a 2021 Toyota Hilux, the 2.8 liter GD6 that I've kitted out for overlanding, so extra fuel tank, winch, rooftop tent, alucab canopy, with a little recovery locker, so it's got all my recovery straps and everything in it. I've got a air compressor in the front as well, so I can deflate my tires for soft sand, reinflate them. The winch, as I said, if I get stuck somewhere, I can kind of winch myself out, which is nice.
Yeah.
I've got a Snowmaster fridge freezer in the back on a slide tray system, which is quite nice. And then I've got a 270-degree sunshade awning, which I can open up, and you know, so I can pretty much just pop a squat anywhere and make camp.
Everything's epic, eh?
So with the extra fuel tank, it's about 160 liters of diesel. Jeez. So I can do about plus minus 1,200 Ks without having to refuel.
Oh, word.
So, you know, it's made for overlanding. It's also got a UHF radio in it, ultra high frequency with the antenna on the front. That's what that is. Really nice 10,000 lumen spots on the front. So it's got rock lighting as well underneath. So, it's properly kitted out. Fortunately for me, the guy I bought it from had bought it brand new, and he owns a company called Gear Up, which is based in Noordhoek. His name's Sam. Really, really good lad. Very knowledgeable. But basically, he outfits buckies for that particular purpose. That's what his company is. And he's a Alucab rep. So basically you can say to him, I want Alucab slide draw systems for the back of my bucky. He'll purchase them, install them, etc. So he's really on it. Aside from that, I don't have any other cars, but I have...
Oh, and your bikes too?
I've got my bikes. Yeah. I've got a 2010 Ducati Monster 696 ABS. I bought that in February of 2018. I've had a couple of those in the States as well as here. The one I have here, it's got about 14,500 Ks on it. Serviced it annually. Sounds phenomenal. It looks brand new.
That thing sounds good, hey?
It's really mean. It's got the Termignoni exhaust slip-ons, the carbon ones. They're really nice. And then the other one is a 2016 Ducati Panigale 1299S, which is basically the last model before they brought out the V4. So that's pretty much 1,300 cc's of pure racing superbike madness. Recently, I took the ugly tail piece off the rear fender and I put a tail tidy in there, which basically removes that ugly fender piece at the back.
I see, yeah.
And it moves your license plate, which I had to customize to get a smaller one. Moves the bracket in underneath the seat above the wheel. Put new slimline LED indicators in. Put a new comfort seat on. And then also brought back and installed the Termignoni exhaust, the slip-ons, the underslung exhausts for that. So that one is also quite
mean.
Mean. But yeah, I mean, I do have a thing for Ducatis. I've always had Ducatis. I've never had any other brand of bike, and people can hate on Ducati all they want, but as long as you maintain them and you treat them properly, I've never ever had an issue with the Ducati. Touch wood. But I am a firm believer in quality over quantity. So, yes, they are expensive, but they're built with precision and time and appreciation. And, Ducati is also fortunately one of those bikes that hold value. Yeah. So the Panigale, because it's a 1299S and it's the last of its kind, there are collectors out there that look for the S models to complete collections. So the longer I hold on to it, it might not increase drastically in value, but I could probably sell it for more than I bought it for.
Sure. Oh, that's cool.
So, yeah. And I have the bikes.
It's a nice investment.
Yeah, and it's fun to ride. The amount of power it has is just phenomenal. You open throttle and.
Why invest in stocks when you could invest in bikes?
Don't take my advice. My parents will disagree. But no, everyone invests in different things. People can invest money into kite surfing, stuff like that. I invest my money into cars and bikes, things that I can enjoy and play with and, just have fun with.
Yeah.
Obviously, don't drive recklessly.
Yeah.
Because South African taxis are not fun. I've been fortunate. I've never had an accident. I'm a very defensive driver. But that being said, a lot of people think I'm a bit of a psycho in the complex I live in, because every Sunday it's regular wash day for the toys, wash and wax. Everything looks brand new, and they always do. So my garage, I've literally got the Jag and the 2 bikes, and then the Hilux sits out the front. But you open up the garage and people are like, oh, those look brand new. Well, you look after them. Your resale is easy, firstly, and then secondly, maintenance is just, in my opinion, it's a mandatory. It's one of those things. I mean, you've seen the car.
Yeah.
It's shiny.
Very shiny.
Shiny as hell.
That thing, yes. That thing is
But
Yeah.
you know, it's one of those things. It's also how I am as a person. I'm just neat and tidy and organized.
Yeah, I respect that. Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, so I mean, again, people can invest in whatever they want. I do it. I know I can resell those things. The money's not lost. The Monster I'll never sell, purely because to me it's an iconic bike, and I just love the feel of when you ride it. It's very comfortable. It's an easy day-to-day rider.
Nice.
You know, it's like people who buy the GS models from BMW, the adventure bikes.
Oh yes.
You know, a lot of them, it's their daily rider because it's super comfortable. The Monster's very similar riding style where you sit almost upright, but it's easy, it's nimble, you throw it around corners, it's very responsive. The Superbike's a Sunday rider. I don't take it out willy-nilly and use it any time because it's, you know, it's a risky game. So, you know, as an investment piece, it's not something I take out to play with lightly. It's, are the conditions right? What time should I go? Where am I going to go?
Clear weather, no wind.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, you know, so I've got my toys, and you know, I've got them for a purpose. It's not just to sit in my driveway and look pretty.
Yeah. No, 100%.
But it comes down more to passion than anything. It's the same I feel about my bikes and my cars that you feel about bodybuilding.
Yeah.
You know, it's a passion. It's driven. It's not just I'm going to have it because I can. You know, it's never been about money for me. It's been, I enjoy these things. I'm gonna spend the money on what I enjoy.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I'm gonna wrap this podcast up. I'm keen to hop in that Jag. But anyway, with that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thanks you absolute units for watching the full podcast, episode 4 of King of the Jungle. But
4, yeah.
Episode 4, yep. That's Kathan and Jim.
Thank you very much for having me. Appreciate it.
In and out. I don't know what does that mean?
Over and out.
Over and out. Yeah, over and out. Oh, goodness me.
Fair
anyway,
enough.
Cheers. Peace.